Missionaries, in fact, of whom Thérèse is patroness, are not only those who travel long distances, learn new languages, do good works, and are good at proclamation. No. A missionary is also anyone who lives as an instrument of God's love where they are.
This October the 15th marks 1 year since Pope Francis released his Apostolic Exhortation, C'est la confiance, honoring Saint Thérèse of Lisieux as a doctor of the Church. The Pope highlights her little way of trust and love, showing it as a path to holiness for everyone. Though Saint Thérèse wanted to be a missionary, she never left her convent, but since 1994, her relics have traveled to nearly 70 countries, spreading her message of love and trust.
In Thérèse of Lisieux, evangelization is not just a mission, it's her love for Jesus, which, as the Pope quotes, is her entire mission, to love Jesus and to make him loved. This love movement towards Jesus embraces the entire world. Thérèse's missionary vision encompasses the entirety of humanity, excluding no one. This is evident from her first pages of Story of a Soul, as the Pope also notes in the document.
Della storia di un'anima, lo ricorda anche il Papa nel documento.
The Holy Father explains that this young saint, whose life and writings focused on love and following a little way of holiness, shows that while it's true that all the Church's teachings and rules have their importance, their value, their clarity, some are more urgent and more foundational for the Christian life. It is also why, as Professor François-Marie Lettel, an expert on Saint Thérèse and a professor at the Pontifical Institute of Spirituality, Theresianum, says missionary activities and evangelization are inseparable from Saint Thérèse of Lisieux.
Pope Francis has often insisted on true evangelization, as he already mentioned in Evangelii Gaudium, which is done not through proselytism, but through attraction. Thérèse of Lisieux is an example of this. Draw me after you, we will run, she says, with very beautiful symbols. Pope Francis cites the text, like a torrent that rushes into the ocean, it drags along everything it meets, comparing it to the grace of baptism. Pope Francis says that in Thérèse's heart, this grace became like that torrent, which swept across the world in 1 century, bringing millions of people to Jesus.
She is patroness of the missions, but she never went on a mission. How do we explain this? She was a Carmelite nun who lived her life according to the way of littleness and weakness. She defined herself as a small grain of sand. Thérèse was a spiritual sister to several missionaries. She accompanied them from her monastery with letters, with her prayer, and by offering continuous sacrifices for them. Without being visible, she interceded for the missions, like an engine that, although hidden, gives a vehicle the power to move forward.
The Pope's exhortation takes its title, C'est la confiance, or It is Trust, from a quotation in one of Saint Thérèse's letters. It is trust and nothing but trust that must lead us to love. In her autobiography, Story of a Soul, Saint Thérèse recounted her little way of holiness and her desire to spend heaven doing good on earth. As the Holy Father writes in his Apostolic Exhortation, Dear Saint Thérèse, the Church needs to radiate the brightness, the fragrance, and the joy of the gospel. Send us your roses.